Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because what you're seeing right now is the start of the biggest battle the auto industry has faced in over a century. This isn't Ford versus GM. This isn't Tesla versus the world. This is the United States and Europe staring down the full force of China's electric vehicle shockwave. China isn't just competing anymore. They're dominating. And the question tonight is simple. Will America and Europe survive this EV takeover? Or is it already too late? Stick around, because the truth is even crazier than the headline. Over the last year, the US and Europe have been hit with a wave of Chinese EVs, priced so low they make American automakers look ancient. We're talking electric cars at $11,000, $14,000, $17,000, brand new, safe, modern, long-range, smart tech-loaded EVs. Meanwhile, here in the US, we're staring at price tags that feel like a mortgage payment. Americans are asking, why am I paying $52,000 for an EV? When China is selling one for $14K? And honestly, it's a fair question. Because China didn't wake up one morning and suddenly make cheap EVs. No, they planned this for 20 years. Battery dominance, raw materials, supply chains, energy strategy, and a home market with over 1.4 billion people to perfect production scale. This wasn't an accident, it was a playbook. Let me break this down in plain English, American style. Batteries? China owns over 70% of the world's battery production. Lithium refining? China refines more than 60% of global lithium. EV exports? China is now the world's #1 auto exporter, passing Japan, Germany, and yes, the US. Think about that. The country that wasn't even known for cars 20 years ago is now shipping more cars to the world than anyone else. And the craziest part? Chinese EVs aren't junk. They're good, really good. AI-driven dashboards, long range, fast charging, crazy interiors, insane designs. And they're cheap because China has something the US doesn't. Scale, control of materials, government-backed production. This allows them to build EVs at a price American companies simply cannot match right now. Europe got hit first and hit hard. BYD, MG, NIO, XPeng, they're everywhere. Showrooms popping up like Starbucks. Customers switching because the price gap is too massive to ignore. EU regulators literally had to step in with tariffs to slow the flood. Germany, once the king of auto engineering, is now begging Brussels to protect its industry. Why? Because their luxury cars can't compete on price or tech. Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, they're getting squeezed in their own backyard. If Europe is the warning shot, America is next. The US government is not sitting quietly watching the storm roll in. Here's what's happening. High tariffs on Chinese EVs. The US raised tariffs to 100% on Chinese electric vehicles. Basically saying, not today, China. $52 billion in EV and battery investments. Factories in Texas, Georgia, Michigan, Kentucky. Massive battery plants, EV lines, charging infrastructure. The EV tax credits, up to $7,500 for American-built EVs to keep US models competitive. Pushing for domestic lithium mining. Nevada, North Carolina. New mining projects getting fast approvals. The US knows this is a national security issue, not just a business problem. But let's be real. Even with these moves, China's advantage is huge. Tariffs can slow China, but they can't stop innovation. Let me drop a name that's keeping Ford, GM, and even Tesla executives up at night. BYD. The company that went from making batteries to taking over the world. BYD builds everything in-house. Batteries, motors, chips, software. No outsourcing, no middlemen, no inflated costs. That's why a BYD SUV in China costs $15,000, while the closest US competitor is $45,000. And guess what BYD announced? They're building a factory in Mexico, just a few miles from the US border. Why Mexico? Because under trade agreements, vehicles built in Mexico can enter the US market with far fewer restrictions. If that happens, it's game over. BYD could undercut every American EV overnight. Tesla, threatened. Ford, threatened. GM, threatened. This is not a drill. The auto war is real. Tesla is still America's strongest defense. But here's the twist. China is coming for Tesla too. Chinese companies have copied Tesla's playbook, improved it, and lowered the price. Even Elon Musk admitted, Chinese EV companies will demolish most other car makers if trade barriers aren't in place. If BYD enters North America at full force, the Model 3 and Model Y will face pressure like never before. This isn't about who makes the best car anymore. It's about who makes the best car for the lowest price. And right now, China wins that game. This is where things get emotional. We're talking millions of American jobs. Assembly lines, suppliers, mechanics, truckers, engineers. If Chinese EVs grab even 20 to 30% of the US market, Michigan gets hit, Ohio gets hit, Kentucky gets hit. The entire Midwest manufacturing belt takes a punch. This isn't just an industry war. This is a fight for American livelihoods. So the big question, can the US and Europe survive China's EV shock? Here's the truth. Yes, but only if they innovate faster than ever before. Yes, if they build cheaper, smarter EVs. Yes, if they secure battery materials and scale like China. But if they don't, if they stay slow, if they stay expensive, if they keep fighting yesterday's battles, then no, they won't survive. China isn't slowing down. China isn't waiting. China isn't playing fair. They're playing to win. And right now, they're winning. This isn't just an auto war. This is the future of transportation, the future of jobs, the future of global power. So tell me in the comments, do you think the US and Europe can survive China's EV shock? Or is this the beginning of a new world order in the auto industry? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because this story is only getting bigger. This is the Auto War, and you're watching it unfold in real time.